Today I'm going to discuss the Tower of Babel story. Now, like so many other stories that we remember from our childhood, we remember them in a way that is actually, most of us, not biblically correct. Most people, if you ask them what the Tower of Babel story is about, they will say that a group of people were building a tower to heaven, and God saw this and saw that they were vain and proudful and arrogant. I mean, how dare they build this tower to heaven? So he went down there and confused their language. Had that been the case, maybe there would have been some justification in what God did. But that's not the story. Again, as adults, we need to look back at these stories and read them with critical thinking skills to understand them as adults. Because this story is not essentially about the pride and vanity of man. It's not about that at all. It's about, again, man being able to try to advance himself to a certain state of consciousness, and God coming down and corrupting that because he sees man as a threat. That's what this story is about. And again, I can just use the story itself in the Bible to prove it. Genesis chapter... Sorry about that. Ran out of batteries in my camera. Now, I was reading from Genesis chapter 11, starting with verse 1. Now the whole earth had one language and one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. They had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower, whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men have built. And the Lord said, Indeed, the people are one, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing that they propose to do will be withheld from them. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So he did it. Now this isn't about people who are proud, people who are full of arrogance, people who are trying to show God that they don't need him anymore. This is about people who are striving to be under one rule and one language so they can aspire to higher states of consciousness. God doesn't go down there and confuse their language because they're a proud people. It says it right here in verse 6 why he does it. If this is what they begin to do, now nothing that they propose will be withheld from them. A more modern way of putting that is, nothing will be impossible to them. I don't know what you want out of this world. I don't know what you aspire to. But I do not aspire to serve this capricious God, whose only ambition in these stories that I've already read is to corrupt mankind in order to keep them from advancing to their higher state of consciousness. This is not the true God. Okay? This is what the Gnostics call the demiurge. You can look that up. Gnostics. Starts with a G. The Gnostic Church, which was the original church before the Roman Catholic Church exterminated them. And why? Because the Gnostics understood something that is just coming again. Knowledge shall increase in the last days, it says in Daniel. The understanding of who the true God is an understanding that I have. It's an understanding that I'm willing to give anyone who asks of me. Now you can continue to serve your slave master, this God who doesn't want you to aspire to his state of consciousness, or you can serve the true God that wants all mankind to advance to his state of consciousness. It's your choice. And if I'm throwing pearls amongst swine, don't email me. Entropy666W. By the way, that's meant to be ironic. It's not, I'm not the devil. I'm not satanic. Okay? So, I put that there so certain people who have closed minds and are just full of this stupid concept that I don't want to be talking to them. I don't want to correspond with people who aren't able to open their minds up and realize that there's a lot more in here than meets the eye. I'm giving everything that I have in order for people to understand their full potential. If you want to know what I have done in order to advance to the higher state of consciousness that I currently am in, then email me. If you want to email me and argue a point, I'm not even going to answer that. If you want to argue a point, put it on the message board so everyone can see. I'm not going to delete any of them. Whatever you say. You see, because I know that what I'm saying is true. I don't have to hide my light under a bushel. I don't have to do that. If you want to advance in this world, if you want to advance to a state that you can do, as it says here, that nothing will be impossible for you, then email me, and I'll help you. I'm not charging anything for it. I want to help people. When you come to a higher state of consciousness, you love all mankind, and you want to help them to reach their full potential. Only a God that is not a God does otherwise. Only a God that thinks himself to be God, but is not, the demiurge, is what the Gnostics call him. He's the kind of God that wants mankind to be in subservience to him for all eternity. These are the last days. And I'm not the Antichrist. I'm not Antichrist at all. I believe in the words of Jesus Christ. I believe when he said, love your enemy. I believe in that truth. In this world, in this country, we are not doing the will of God. When we go overseas and bomb children, when we starve them out, during the occupation of Iraq, before the war started, during the sanctions, 600,000 children died of starvation. That is what your government is doing. That is who we are. If you think that you're going to look up into the sky and Jesus Christ is going to take you away, you've got another thing coming. You're going to live through this tribulation. You're going to have to deal with it. Because there are none righteous. No, not one. Those who are seeking, email me. Those who are not, don't bother. The Lord be with you. God bless you.